Hey, I'm Max. I have been developing standalone games on mobile and PC for over a year using Unity and Unreal Engine. Today I want to test out if the skills and knowledge I got from that would help me become a Roblox developer. If you don't know what Roblox is, it is pretty much a base that people can use to build their own world. By adding models and scripts to your world, you can create many games. The first thing I did was to join a few popular Roblox worlds to see what kind of things people made. I was impressed by how different each world was. I thought Roblox was only a kid's game, but apparently it is much more. Then I installed Roblox Studio and started messing with features and scripts to try to figure out how it works. It turns out Roblox Studio is pretty similar to game engines. You have game objects in your scene with components and scripts attached to them, and you can have server scripts for your server. The thing that was the hardest for me to adapt to was the programming type. Game engines usually use typed, object-oriented programming languages like C# or C++, which means every variable has a type, and also you create classes and instances. Roblox uses Lua, which is an untyped language, which means that when you create a variable, it can take any type. And it is also not really object-oriented. Technically, you could make classes and instances, but it's really not as easy as actual object-oriented languages. I am not used to those things, so I often made mistakes because of it. I started by making a simple script that made you jump with more power the longer you hold down space for. Then I made the player lose if he touches a red surface. And that made me learn the basics of scripting. Then I started messing with other features like importing custom meshes from Blender, and it actually worked surprisingly well. Then I messed with the UI system a little bit. It's not bad, but definitely very different from game engines. Finally, I tested out the particle system. It is pretty decent, similar to Unity, but not quite Unreal Engine Niagara level. But I guess it's good enough for Roblox. So far I'm pretty impressed with Roblox. Finally, I experimented with a fly script that I found and modified it a little bit to allow multi-direction fly. By then, I think I understood most of the basics. Since that was quick, I would say without a doubt my background in game dev helped me a lot. However, I do not think someone without any experience cannot learn this. It is pretty simple to learn even for a beginner. At this point, I felt ready to start my first little project. I decided I will make a simple snake game. First, I forced the player to run all the time because I want the player to stop. Then I added point orbs and made it so when you touch it, it spawns a sphere. Next, I made those spheres follow the player, but they were all pushing on themselves and the player, pushing the player in the air. So I tried using the align position component to make the spheres follow each other at a distance and in a line. The result was better than before, but still not what I was looking for. When I changed direction fast, it made the spheres fly around, so I had to program a whole new way to move the sphere. I decided to save the player's position often into a list and then move the spheres to those positions so they would follow the player with a delay. The first attempt was already decent, but not quite there. The spheres were moving strangely. I fixed that and now the spheres were following in a line, but they were somehow blinking. It took me a while, but I managed to fix that, and now the spheres were following fine. I made them bigger and made it so you gain scores when you touch green orbs. Then I started working on adding a bot to the game so you can play even if you are alone. I made him run around randomly while trying to avoid falling off the map. Finally, I made it so when you run into spheres that are not yours, you lose all your score, go back to the middle, and your spheres turn into orbs point for the other ones to pick up. So the goal of the game is to avoid running into others while trying to make others run into you. So I added a boost that makes you run faster but only for a short time and with a cooldown, so you can use that to catch up to people, dodge them, or make them run into you. In conclusion, I'm pretty impressed by how easy and powerful the Roblox engine is. It allows for instant multiplayer with no effort, and the scripts are easy to make. I'm definitely going to try to make more interesting things in the future. This was a very simple project just to get started, but for a first one, it's definitely not bad. I'll be trying a bunch of other things and experimenting with object-oriented Lua, so hopefully I can make better games more easily. Stay tuned if you want to watch that. Thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed. If you want more content on Roblox, let me know in the comments and I will. And make sure to subscribe.